Hello and welcome to my little podcast. My name is Nancy. I'm also known as Unpick a Queen on Instagram. And I thought I might create this little space so we can talk all things making. I have been thinking about this for a while, so it's really nice to finally put it in action. I guess as this is podcast number 1, we might talk a little bit about me and my making journey. And then we could talk about some things I have finished recently and maybe some things I have planned for January. And if I have time, I will talk about my Make 9s for 2022. So, first of all, I am 29 years old. I live in a little town called Toowoomba, which is in southeast Queensland, Australia, with my almost 1-year-old and my husband. We are currently just renting this little house because we moved back from Perth last year, about July. And yeah, so I learned to sew when I was quite young. I remember going to quilting camp, I guess like summer camp. Anyway, quilting camp when I was maybe in grade 6 or 7, and I could probably dig those quilts out and show you someday. They are still very special. Anyway, so I learned to quilt first, and then I put down sewing for quite a long time, and then in 2014, I picked it up again. I was making little kids things and selling them at markets, which is very hard. It's very hard to sell things when people don't want to pay what things are worth, but never mind, that's a lifetime ago now. Because in 2018, I decided I wanted to make my own clothes. I originally decided that I wanted to be more sustainable with my making and with what I was wearing, because fast fashion is a real problem anyway. It's nothing I can fix. But I think I hoard more fabric than I make. So yeah, so from 2018, I started making. I think I started my Instagram in 2019. So I have been sharing my makes there ever since. And I thought I would start this so that we could share them here too and talk a little bit more about them than just posting photos. I also learned to knit when I was younger, and by knit I mean just knit stitch. I didn't even know how to purl stitch. I think I made a few scarves with a little old lady that used to babysit us as kids. And then at the beginning of last year when I had my son, I was looking for an escape. If you have a baby, you might know how hard the transition to motherhood was. It was especially hard because I was so far from my own parents and friends, so I picked up knitting to keep me preoccupied and help my mental health, and it really did. I made quite a few things last year. I think I made myself 12 things, which is crazy. That's crazy. I only learned to knit last year, and now I can knit a whole garment. So yeah, I really enjoy both sewing and knitting, and I think I do more knitting these days simply because I just don't have time to sew. It's hard having a baby and fitting things in, but alas, it's special. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy motherhood now. And it's nice to have someone who's not my husband to make things for. If any of my friends are watching this, this is not an invitation for me to make you things. I love you all, but no thanks. Yeah, so that's my journey so far. I also make resin buttons, which is something I picked up in 2019, and I don't know, I saw resin and thought, you know what? I love making things and picking new hobbies, which is, I guess, why I started knitting last year. And so I started making buttons as well, and I won't lie, I shamelessly use them on everything. Both the things I make myself and for others. I very rarely buy buttons anymore, which is evident because I have quite a stash of vintage buttons I got from my grandma, which I'm slowly using. Glitter just... I also love glitter. My mum says that my favourite colour is glitter, so she's not wrong. She's really not wrong. I love sparkly things. So yeah, I love making. So this will be a space where I'm going to share those things with you in the future. So we might talk about some things that I have finished recently, and I might start with knitting because it's my current favourite hobby. I made this for my son for his birthday, which is in 2 days. This, I can't remember what this was called, so I will link it in the description. But this cardigan is so cute. It's also got glitter buttons on it. Of course it does. So this is an 8-ply DK, and it is made in wool from a lovely lady called Chloe from Victoria in Australia. From her company is called Wool and Wax, and these two are a Sully and a Mike from her latest collection. I went to a wedding and was a little bit intoxicated when I ordered it, so I didn't quite order enough blue. But that's okay, because I think I really love the stripes. And hopefully he will love it, and he will be able to keep it and treasure it. And give it to his kids. That's a lifetime away. Let's not wish that. And then this is my other December make that I made for myself. If you've been following along on my Instagram, you will know that I recently finished this Stockholm slipover, which is made in, I'm not going to say this right, a Sunday from Sandgarn. I'll link that too. With a beautiful mohair, paired with a beautiful mohair also from Chloe from Wool and Wax, which is called Boo's Door. It's really pretty. It's sort of the 4-ply, the one from the Sunday was a cream, and then the other was sort of a really mottly, it's got like pink and orange and yellow. It's really pretty. The only thing I will say with this is that I did not do the decrease that is supposed to be, between the underarm and the bottom is supposed to have 8 stitches altogether decreased, and I didn't do that because I have quite wide hips, so I'm really glad I didn't do that, because otherwise it probably wouldn't fit. Anyway, it does, and I love it. And I'm not putting it on to show you because it is so friggin' hot here at the moment. So yeah, so that's my latest knitting make. Move on to sewing. So I made this little top. I have made 2 actually. I made one for my son, and then we were supposed to go to a birthday party this weekend for another friend's son. It was going to be a Bluey themed party. If you're not from Australia and you don't know what Bluey is, you should definitely Google it, because it is a hilarious kids show that they're in like 7-minute episodes. Always make me and my husband laugh. But I don't think we're going to go to the party because COVID has exploded here. So I think, I don't know. The next thing I'm going to show you is that for a wedding I'm going to on Friday, which is sort of counterintuitive to not go to a party, but to go to a wedding. Let's not talk about COVID. Too hard. So yeah, this is a brindle twig, I want to say basic shirt pattern. I have made my son many of these and he loves them. I love them. He's one. He loves food. It's perfect. It's a great shirt pattern. So I will now show you a dress. So I made this. It is an Anthea blouse hacked into a dress. I've taken 10 centimeters off the bodice and 2 centimeters, not centimeters, inches. 10 inches off the bodice and 2.5 inches off the sleeve to bring it up. I have made this several times. If you follow me on Instagram, you've either seen me talking about it or seen my others. I did have to take in quite a bit at the sides because it was too flowy. It works really great if it's a big pattern and you can't see the voluptuousness of it, and I really enjoy how big and flowy it is, but it was just too much for the basic linen that I bought. But I'm taking in like 8 centimeters from either side, and it now sits quite well. I won't put it on because again it's too hot, but I shall show you. It is so pretty. I really love it. I love this really pretty tulle that I got both of these pieces from Spotlight yonks ago to wear to somebody else's wedding, which got cancelled. And then when they had the makeup, we'd moved away, so I never made anything, but I'm really glad I've made that. It's going to look beautiful. I bought some really cute heels to go with it, so I can't wait to wear that to potentially that wedding. Anyway, doesn't matter. I made the glitter buttons that go on it too that are quite cute, so hopefully you see that on me soon. Yeah, so they're the 2 things I have made recently. The pink dress is actually my first make for 2022, which is really exciting. I have a lot of things planned. A lot of things, but not a lot of things all at once, for the future. Anyhow, shall we talk now about my works in progress? I have some things planned for January. So before we talk about them, I'll talk about my 2022 plans for sewing and knitting. And they are to slow down. I find that I spend so much time scrolling the gram, saving things, buying things, never using them because I don't have the time, because I'm spending so much time scrolling, that in 2022 I want to disconnect a bit more. I want to take a step back and slow down. I don't really need a great deal of clothes, and the things I do are in my Make 9, which I will talk about later. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like we're all go go go, or we use it as coping mechanisms, and sometimes we don't do it for the better. Anyway, so in saying that, I am going to use from my stash this year. Well, I'm going to try for as long as possible use from my stash without buying anything for myself. I have made the exception for gifts, obviously because my stash is catered for things that I wanted to make myself, not things I would want to make for others. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to take it month by month and make things for the month that I need them. So in January, I have 3 things planned, sewing wise, and then a few things knitting wise planned. But let's talk about sewing first because it is my first love. I have got, and this one's already cut out. I actually cut this one out in December sometime. I cut it out at the same time as that pink Anthea dress, and it is made, it's cut out in this beautiful linen I got in Japan, and I have cut out an Orchard's dress, which is this one, with the Anthea sleeve, sort of, it's a pattern mash, so it'll be this with a beautiful sleeve. I bought this fabric on my honeymoon in 2019, and I just love it. So it's time I use it because you can't take your fabric to the grave, so we might as well use the nice things. Wear the nice things, use the nice china, all those things for 2022. So that will be probably my next make because it's already cut out and I don't have to think about it. And then, talking about practical makes, I ripped one of my 90s the other day. So, and having just 2 90s is not enough rotation for the wash, even though as a mum I wash every day. Anyway, so I have I'm going to make 2 more nighties using this Quick Sew 3106. And I think I make B, but with a short sleeve. So it's just got a cute little button down bodice, and it just drops and flows. And I was able to wear this when I was pregnant, so it's a great pattern because I really haven't lost any weight since I was pregnant. But I'm going to use this, which I think is a cotton voile. I don't know. It might tell me. And it is a fabric called, oh no, it's actually, oh no, it is. It's a Rifle Paper Co. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's got lots of, it's really, I don't know, it's soft. It'll be beautiful as pajamas. My mum bought me this ages ago, and I think I haven't used it because it's so like my skin tone, and with blonde hair I feel like it would wash me out. So I'm just going to use it as pajamas, and it will get probably more wear as pajamas than it would anything else in my wardrobe, which is crazy. Anyway, and then I got this poplin from Spotlight a while ago to make some llama pajamas. There's actually a kid's book that's called The Little Llama Who Lost His Pajamas. So I've got some more in my stash to make my son Ruben some, maybe in a size 2, because he's too little to walk now anyway. So yeah, so those 2 will be my January makes. Sewing wise, I am not going to push myself to make much more, mainly because it's hot and my sewing room doesn't get a lot of airflow, so I haven't really been sewing, and I don't really need clothes, so what is the point of making things pointlessly? Anyway, and then knitting wise, my favorite, I am currently working on a Bennett Sisters shawl. I am halfway now. I'm over halfway actually. Oh, I haven't lost a stitch there. Yeah, so this is halfway. So I did this yesterday. I'm excited. I'll be excited when this is finished. It is taking me forever. I don't know. I find garter stitch boring. It's a lovely pattern and it will be great when it's finished, but I find it boring to knit. Anyway, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. So this is also in Wool & Works. I really love Chloe's yarn, and I have quite a bit more in my stash, which I'll show you one day. But these are also Chloe. So this is a 4-ply fingering, and this is a mohair together. So the pattern calls for half without the mohair and half with the mohair, and I'm up to the mohair section. So they look really pretty together. I was really worried that the orange wouldn't be, that it wouldn't be enough, but it really, if you look at it nice and close, you can sort of see there where it really does. Oh, even there, look, it makes a difference in the yarn. Maybe a pink would have been nicer, but I got the orange and I'm happy with it. They're really beautiful colors. Orange is my favorite color, just in case you didn't know. Yeah, so that is what I'm currently working on. I am also waiting for some yarn from Skein Sisters to make my mum a scarf number 1. I can't remember the designer's name, so I will link that here somewhere. And it's a DK. I bought the Bellissimo. I have previously used the 4-ply Bellissimo, and it's so soft. It is amazing. I have some to make myself another Stockholm slipover at some point. I'll show you that later. Yeah, so I'm waiting for that to come. I won't tell you what color it is because my mum will probably be watching this. Hi, Mum. So hopefully that will come soon because her birthday's in like 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I've got really bad indigestion. So hopefully I can make that. Let's be honest, I'll be able to make it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so they are my plans for January. I'm, like I said, taking it month by month this year. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself because time is limited. And I'm going back to work at the end of February, so I'm sure time will get even more limited. Then, especially because I work at the hospital. Yeah. We're not talking about COVID. All right. Sorry, I'm looking at my book because I didn't know what to talk about, even though I've now rambled for 20 minutes. So I think now we could probably maybe talk about my Make 9 plans for 2022. So I didn't do a Make 9 last year because last year was hard. Anyway, I just sort of made what I could when I could, and I'm happy with that. I think that's why knitting has become such a big part of my life, because it was a real comfort last year when I was able to sit with my baby who cried all the time. Yeah, and I was able to do something with my hands and not be bored. Anyway, so shall we talk about my Make 9? This year I am doing things a bit different. It's not all just projects that I want to make, because again, I don't need more clothes. So I have made a list of things that I would like to achieve, and a few things that I do want to sew. Actually, looking at it right now, most of it's knitting. Anyway, I love knitting, whatever. So my number one is to finish my quilts. I have 3 quilts planned. One is completely cut out, one is 2/3 sewn, and the other I bought at the end of last year and it's packed away somewhere. So the first one I really want to finish, and I worked on it quite a bit last year with my gran, is my bee quilt. I have used the Laurie Holt Farm Girl Vintage book to I've used the Farm Girl Vintage book bee pieces and some flowers to make a quilt, which I will take a picture of and put up here. And I would like to finish it. It needs a few more bees and a few more flowers, and then it needs a border and to be quilted, and it's done. I bought the backing fabric so long ago, and it's ready to go. It just needs to be finished. And then the second one I started again in 2019, a triangle quilt in an orange and blue, which is all cut out. It just needs to be sewn together. I think it might have been boring and that's why I didn't finish it. Or maybe I started sewing things for myself and quilting got pushed back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's also going to be finished this year, and it will be a single bed quilt size. The bee one will be a queen to go on my bed. And then I guess the triangle one can go on Ruby's bed when he is big enough to have a big boy bed. Yeah. And then the third quilt. So this is all in my number one for Make 9 because it's a broad subject. My third will be a Christmas tree quilt. If you have been following me for a while on Instagram, you will know in 2019? Yeah, it wasn't last year or the year before. Anyway, in 2019, the year I made all of those Christmas outfits, I also made my aunt a Christmas tree quilt. Again, using a piece from a Laurie Holt book, which I think I just times to the 12-inch square by 3, which made it huge. It would be like at least a double bed quilt. And it was in the shape of a Christmas tree. I'll put it here. And it had lights. It was really pretty. I made it for my aunt. She came with me and picked out the fabric, and I sewed it all up, and she uses it every year for Christmas, and I would like to do the same thing. So when we moved back from Perth, I left my Christmas tree stuff behind because we didn't have enough room in our container. We had a single container, and a half a container was so much more expensive, so I left it behind. I took my good decorations, but not my tree. Anyway, so that'll be for next Christmas, so it's sort of not in a rush, but we'd like to have it finished sometime really soon. Sorry, I'm looking at how long this has been going for. Number 2 is I would like to knit socks. I got these Nova, you can't see it because it's so bloody bright. I got these Knit Pro Novas, 2.5 25 centimeter needles in the mail this morning, and I probably will put my shawl on hold so I can make the socks. But I'd like to make socks. I have downloaded the Petite Knit everyday sock pattern, and I would like to use that to make myself some socks. It's been something I have looked at for a really long time, knit-wise, and something I thought, I can't do that. But I also didn't think I could make myself a jumper, and I have done that last year, so anything's possible. Number 3 will be a window pane vest. So my mum got me this really beautiful COS by that beautiful brand that I can never pronounce, in a red, and I had thought that I would put these two together, but this is not pink enough to go with red, so I don't think I'm going to use that anymore. But I do have some white left over from my holiday sleepover, which was the first one I made. And I think they will be good together, and I think I've got some orange, so maybe, oh, here it is. Maybe orange and red, or maybe just white and red. I'm not really sure yet what will be. This will be the stripes, but I'm not sure what the cuff and the arms binding will be yet. So, yep, I've downloaded the pattern and it's ready to go. Yeah, so that was number 3. Number 4 is, now, when I first thought about knitting in 2019, I stalked this pattern for so long, and because it's color work, I was like, I can't do that. That's too hard. It'd be like the socks, really. Probably in the same boat as the socks. And it is this Soldatona crop, which I would really love to do. It's a color work project, and I cannot wait to start it. I have ordered some yarn from Wild Earth Yarns in New Zealand that is undyed. If you've been following me for a while on Instagram, you will see that I dyed some Polyworth I got from them last year in some Rit dye, but this year I'm going to have a go at dyeing again, just for myself, not to sell, because I've got too many other things to do. But yeah, so I want to dye my own yarn to make a Soldatona crop. I'm just not sure on colours yet. I think I'm going to do a pink and orange and blue and orange. I don't know, white maybe. I haven't decided yet, but I have seen some really pretty dyes that I think I'm going to order, but it will be maybe a mid-year project, as I've got so many other things to do now. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, so hopefully I will do that soon. Number 5. Now this is basic, but I am going to make this a basic year for me. I bought some white linen from the Fine Cloth Company, and I would really like to make myself an Ashton top. So you might wonder why just a plain old Ashton top is going to be on my Make 9, but it is because I just need basics. I made so many vests last year and have so many vests planned to make this year that I want something to go under my vests, which I think a white linen Ashton top for the winter would be really lovely. Number 6 is, now this will be very much the later half of the year. I would like to, and it's not counted in number 1, I would like to make myself a pink and red star quilt using a star block from, again, the Laurie Holt book, the Christmas one, which I'll show you here. And it will be, again, a queen bed quilt. I want to make some things that I can keep for a long time, despite weight fluctuation. Like, clothing is great, but if you lose or gain weight, it's hard. Anyway, we're not talking about weight. Yeah, so I want to make myself a quilt, and I don't have the fabric for that, so it will be in my, when I break my ban of buying, I will buy it, and I won't buy anything until I'm ready to actually make it, so it might be after my other 3 quilts are made. It might not be. So, but yeah, that is number 5. Number 6 will be a vest number 1. Now I have 2 planned, but I'm not sure I'm going to make both. My husband, this is a cause again. I've made so many things in this yarn. This is a grey cause yarn. Again, it's just a 10 ply. I have 4 balls of that, so I think I'm going to make the vest number 1 with that. And then if I really like the pattern, I will use this one. So this is another, it's another Chloe Woolen Works in the colorway 2319 in her latest what's it called, Monsters Inc. collection. So this is an 8 ply and a mohair together as opposed to a 10 ply. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I want to use that yet. I've got 3 balls of the DK and one of the mohair. But if I run out of the mohair, I've got another ball of the it's not Gum Blossoms. It was from a previous collection, the one I'm using my shawl. And they're not, oh, they look the same there. They're not the same, but I think that if it came to it, I could substitute that for that. So I'm not sure yet if that's what I want to do with it. I might even make something else. Who knows? I think that's what makers struggle with, is they buy things, they stash things, and then the things they buy don't end up the things that they ever were intended to be. Yeah. Number 8. I'm changing these around. Number 8 on my list is something from my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law lives in Perth, and I have not made her anything yet. She has made me so many little things for my son. She's a knitter. She's a bloody knitting wizard. That's what she is. I have seen her knit an entire baby jumper in a day. In fact, she made an entire pair of baby pants in a day while I was there one time. That's crazy. It takes me months. It took me a month to make that cardigan for Ribbon. So if you're watching this, have a girl, you're a wizard. You're a wizard. So I would like to make her something. I'm not sure what yet, and I don't want to reveal it just in case. You never know. Just in case you're watching. It will be a surprise, and I think it will be for Mother's Day. It will probably be something quilted. Maybe this year might be my year for quilting, because I'm taking it slow. I love a slow project. It's what I think I love about knitting so much, is that you can put it down and pick it up, and it's slow. You don't have to worry about it. It's just, I think I need to slow down. I love the slowness. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do. And then number 9 is just a broad, it's a broad on my makes, is to make things that are practical. I find that I make really pretty things that I don't wear. I have so many dresses, which are just basic dresses in really pretty fabric, that I don't wear because I don't think they're practical. I don't know why. They're pretty and I should just wear them. This Orchards dress, which has my lunch on it, sorry. It's in a linen I got from Potter & Co. And it's a day dress that I wear all the time because it's so practical. It's loose, it's comfortable, it's flowy. I can wear it without a bra on and not feel uncomfortable. So this is a great pattern, and I really, really enjoyed sewing it. I did make a few tweaks to the collar because the instructions are a bit shit, but it's I would recommend it. I'm stuttering. I would recommend making this if you haven't. Yeah, I love loose things. So that is my make 9. I would like to try and use as much as I can from my own stash and use up my stash and not buy any patterns or any fabric for as long as I can. I won't lie, I did a bit of pattern buying, mainly knitting and yarn at the end of last year so that I could try and get myself through. If anything, I'll probably have to buy some sock yarn to make socks, but I'm going to see what I can do now. Mainly because I'm just now realizing that sock yarn has nylon in it and it's not just plain 4-ply merino. Never mind. Oh goodness. Yeah, so they're my plans for 2022. I am excited for the year and what is to come. I'm not excited to go back to work. I am and I am not. I don't know. Adult company might be nice. Especially if we won't be able to do anything for a while. That sounds silly. Anyway. Yeah, so I might call it quits there and save all the other things for another time. So thank you for watching. If you have any, if you know me from Instagram and you have any ideas of what you would like me to talk about in my next upcoming podcast, please leave a comment below, and give me a like and subscribe if you liked this video of this rambling 29-year-old about her makes. I will make some podcasts regarding resin and mold making. I know a few people have talked to me about wanting to know more, because it is tricky. It's so tricky to know what, where to buy your products and what products to buy and how to do things, and getting started is usually just the hardest part. It's the hardest part of knitting. Maybe I will also make a podcast of yarn and yarns I like, also because it's tricky to find places to buy things. I often stalk other people's podcasts and stop and start and Google at the same time. Oh, I'm looking at you, Sian. Yeah, so thank you for watching so much. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.